The second most popular question was the problem of evil and suffering. If God is real, why did he take my friend's mom and dad from him? Why do bad things happen to good people or to Christians? What about God's protection, etc., etc.? And those are valid questions. They're usually very good questions, and we need to have an answer to them. And the third question is, how do you know that God is even real? What evidence is there that God exists? Listen, these are good questions, and these are questions Christian kids at a Christian school are asking. So I'm assuming some of your youth in your youth group will be asking the same thing. Some of your kids may be asking the same thing. What about questions on Jesus? 3 top questions on Jesus. Number 1, how do we know that he rose from the dead? How do we know that he rose from the dead? Just because the Bible says it doesn't mean that he did it. That's the mentality of today's world. Just because it's written in the book doesn't mean it's true. What evidence do we have that he actually rose from the dead? How do we know he said the things that are in the Gospels? You know, all those things that are in red, all those red letters, how do we know he said that? What evidence do we have of that? And another one, how could Jesus be God and man at the same time? But that's a question that's baffled theologians for a long time. It's the hypostatic union of Christ, God and man. We don't know anybody is 200%. And yet that's how Jesus describes himself, 100% man, 100% God. So you see, these are legitimate questions that we need to deal with and answer. What about the Bible? Questions about the Bible. How do you know the Bible is true? Isn't it just a collection of myths and fairy tales? Isn't it just a work of fiction? I mean, do we really believe in a book with talking snakes? That's how it comes out. That's how the question is. How do you know that the Bible is trustworthy? Or hasn't the Bible been changed throughout the centuries? A second question. How do you know that what you have now is real? How do you know that it hasn't been changed and reinterpreted? How do you know that what you have now looks anything like the originals? We don't have the originals to compare to. That's another question. Why is the Bible better than other religious books? Why not the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita or the Vedas? I mean, come on. What makes the Bible so special? These are doubts that Christian kids have.